So the essential question, how do variables and expressions translate to the English language? Something I want to stress about the definition with a variable is that it's any symbol. It doesn't just have to be a letter. Usually it's a letter, but it doesn't have to be just a letter. So, it's some sort of symbol. It could be a smiley face, could be a heart. I just want you to realize that if you ever took the ACT or the SAT, it could be anything. So, a variable is a symbol. So, algebraic expression is an expression which includes numbers and or variables and operations. Now, let's start to write on our guided notes. An example could be 2x. Another example could be n plus 4. Another example could be x squared. Another example of an algebraic term could be negative 3x to the third power minus 5. That's also an algebraic expression. Anything that is a combination of numbers, variables, operations. So every number, variable, or product quotient combination. That's the most important part because terms do not have addition or subtraction within them. So, I'm going to show that, okay, so this 2x only had multiplication in it, so that's a term. But if I look at n plus 4, well, technically, wait a second, there's addition there, and that's bad for a term. N would be a term. 4 would be a term. Those alone would be terms. So in the next example of the algebraic expression, x squared, well, that's only multiplication involved, so that's okay to be a term. But then in this one, wait a second, this is what we would be like separating it into two terms. Negative 3x cubed is a term. And then another term would be maybe negative 5. That's another term. So they're separated by addition or separated by subtraction. Those are terms. So on your guided notes, you already have this box at the bottom. You've got the symbol of addition, subtraction. You've got these. By the way, this, look up there, is a multiplication symbol. So we're going to talk about how we can translate from English to math, because it is another language. So let's talk about addition. If I wanted to represent some sort of adding something on, yesterday we did the birth month activity, and we talked about the words one more. So anytime you use the word, and I won't use quotes, but anytime you use the word more than, so 1 month had one more than another month. Increased by. That's another group of words. So total. Total can sometimes be an equal sign, but really it means you're also adding. The word sum. So here's a mathematical word that means addition. Sum. S-U-M, sum. So, sort of like a play on these words, instead of more than, we might say less than. Instead of increased by, we could possibly see decreased by. So, with multiplication, you might hear double, triple, quadruple. So let's get some of these down. Double means multiply by 2. So the bad thing is, just like when you hear the word there, you don't know if you're talking about T-H-E-R-E, T-H-E-I-R, T-H-E-Y apostrophe R-E. Same with the word of. That's why I put it in quotes. Most of the time we're going to see of meaning multiplication. So, if I want a product of something, or if you hear me say, take the product of, that means I want you to multiply. Half. If you hear somebody say, take half of this, technically, if you're taking half of something, you're multiplying it by a half. Or you could be implying that it's being divided by 2. So it's sort of like a double dose word. So I'm going to say take half of something. Fractions represent divisions. So like if you hear something like a third, 1-third. So if you hear a third, a fourth, a fifth, 4/5, these fractions represent division. Quotient. If you hear the word quotient, that means we're dividing. And again, that word half of, those of you who are really good with fractions, if you hear half, you might be like, well, I'm just going to take that number and divide it by 2. So that word half could be represented with division depending on your number sense. If you hear in conversation, let's split this between us. Depending on how many is in the group, that's division. Square. Cube. And then after that, we're going to say the words to the something power. So I'm going to say to the 4th power. And if I add x to the 5th, it'd be to the 5th power, and so on. So we're going to go to Google Classroom. I've got an assignment up there that I want you to start, but the class code is, hold on, give my technology a moment. Again, no side conversation. I am currently recording. So 4 S Z Z 1 W. That's the class code. Get on there and you should see an assignment.